Yo. It is a beautiful summer day out here in Melbourne today, so I'm gonna make the most of this opportunity and paint that little piece of trim on my car. It's perfect because it's small, it's not that noticeable, so it's a good place to start and learn a few things, I guess, because this will be my first time attacking the car with rattle cans. Let's get started. In order to remove this piece of trim, I need to remove the back seats and then the plastic trim on the inside in order to get to that. While I've got the back seats out, I'm going to clean up some of this really shoddy wiring I did during the budget base installation. So we'll also remove this side too and tuck those wires underneath. Disconnect the battery just because I don't want any live current running through me when I'm fiddling around back there with the sub and the amp. Now we just pull the carpet off. It's held on by a series of clips such as this, and it's a matter of just pulling on it till it releases. The next step is to remove a small washer or whatever it's called. It's a clip, a small plastic clip on the edge of both sides of the seat. So I'll demonstrate it on this side. It's located right here, and you just use a set of pliers. Just requires very little force and it comes off quite easily. Next we attack the 10mm bolt holding the seats to the car. That's that one right there. And we can now remove the rear seats, pushing it to the side and pulling it out. So this panel at the back has to come out in order for us to remove this entire panel over here. We just have to undo 7 of these little clip things. There's 3 over here and 4 on top, one of which is missing. Okay, first step, remove this, the strut cover panel, and remove the speaker cover panel. We've got 2 bolts and 2 screws, so one screw is 3 there, another is there, and these are just Phillips head screws, and then there are 2 10mm bolts, with one being inside here and the other being this one over here. And once you remove those bolts and those 2 screws, it's a matter of just pulling the trim off because it's all held in with clips along the top. Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention the screw clips. So that's these things over here. There are 3 of these, 1 here. There's supposed to be 1 here, but mine's missing for some reason, and 1 over here. While doing this, you want to be pretty careful because there's a cargo light back here which you need to disconnect, unlike that side. Okay, so there's one, and there's the other. So just squeeze it with the plier and then you can just push it out with your fingers. So those were the 2 clips that you could see, and there's one here just hidden behind this over here, so all that's left to do is stick a pair of pliers down there and hopefully get it out. That last clip was in a horrible place, but we finally got the trim out. So what we're going to do now is clean it and hit it with the base coat. I decided to scuff it up with some 1200 grit sandpaper too. Yeah, I'm kind of just experimenting at this point, but we won't need to apply any primer to it, and the paint should stick nicely to it. The next step is to make sure we agitate the paint sufficiently by shaking the can. I'd even go so far as to use a hairdryer to warm up the bottom of the base so that the paint will spray better, because it's a reasonably cold day today. Cool, let's let that dry for a bit. The key I've found to using rattle cans is confidence. You can't just, half have your finger over it and spray a little bit, because then the spray comes out clumpy and heavy. So you just really need to go for it. So the third and final base coat layer has been applied. Next, we are going to apply some clear coat. I'm probably going to do about 3 layers. The third and final clear coat has now been applied. As you can see, there's only a bit of orange peel, far less than I expected there to be. So I think what I'll do now is wet sand it with some 2000 grit sandpaper, very lightly, and then polish it out. And hopefully that will get rid of the orange peel in the clear coat and bring out the metallic shine of the paint. So you can see what a little bit of polish does. The right side's obviously polished and the left side's yet to be polished, but the metallic shines there. There's so much flake, it's so pretty. So I'm going to polish this side. I'm really happy with how it turned out though. So the paint on the wing is now completely done. All I have to do is wet sand it back using some 1500 and then some 2000 grit sandpaper to hopefully get rid of some of the clear coat orange peel that's going on here. After that we can give it a good polish and bring out the metallic shine. The previous owner resprayed my car and they did use the same paint code. However, under my paint code there are 3 different colors and they got the wrong one. So this wing and the side molding are a little darker than the current paint job. So even though there is a slight difference between the paint work that I've done and the paint on most of my car, it's a lot better than what the white wing originally looked like. side molding is now painted, the wing's painted. I polished this by hand. I tried to polish the wing by hand, but there's just too much surface area, so I'm gonna leave that till I can get my hands on a polisher. But till then, I think the car looks a lot better than it once used to. This is no longer red, the wing's no longer white. I think it makes the car look far more complete and less stolen than it once looked, which is great. Yeah, so with all that being said, that's all for today's episode. Hope you guys enjoyed.